for the Lord, nothing more. God's vision, as interpreted by Robin Louise-Stevens Young, 11/19/2021, Friday, 9:40 a.m. God's greatest gifts are so very many. The one that I think on so often is the gift of choice or free will. We choose to follow Him and live eternity in heaven, or we choose not to follow Him and get thrown in the fiery trash heap. God has blessed me in so many ways. Each blessing came from a choice I made. God presented me with options, and I could either choose to take on those opportunities or pass on them, and God finds someone else. I've spent my life saying yes to God, even when it was hard. What I'm about to explain is the easiest decision I've ever made in my life, only below the decision to give my life to the Lord God. I started my writings this year, 2021. My two friends wanted to start a computer game. Others saw my writings and were inspired. These talents, people work in jobs across the entertainment industry. For me to make a financial claim on any of their work would go against everything I believe. These incredible people, the most valuable thing they have is friendship, and are all my beloved friends. The time we spend together, talking and dreaming, blessing me more than any monetary gain ever could. I love them completely, unconditionally. Tiny dancer, seamstress for the band. She sews and repairs clothes with silver and gold thread in hand. No one takes note of her, not one bit, not at all. She sits quietly working, filled with joy and thankful for God's call. To all, she is no one, but to God in the band, she is precious. She is sweet, kind, and gracious. If anyone knew the truth, she would be in hell and die in her youth. The kings of the round table know what it is they come together for. In the seats they sit on encircled a strong, sturdy table filled with inspiration and lore. No one really sees the table, and only ever see the formed knights, now kings. In her grooves and lines, incredible inspiration she brings. If anyone knew the truth, she would be stolen, burned to the ground, leaving the kings only beer in a bar at a booth. The seamstress in the round table, she is one and the same. Her life is not her own. She gave it to God. No one is to blame. A path, a blessing beyond imagining, has been laid before me. I've made my choice. I now lay this path out for all of you, kings of the round table. The vision, blessing starts somewhere. God has blessed me with things I write. I'm blessing you by sharing those writings with you with a few requests. Number one, for my safety and yours. We do all we can to protect our friendship and all the kings of the round table. Part of that is keeping me hidden as much and as long as possible. I work best when no one is looking at me. Number two, tithing. I want you to experience God's miracle firsthand when you tithe to people that are faithfully teaching Jesus' birth, life, death, and resurrection. You will see God change hearts, change countries, change the world. You and your family will also be blessed. The more you tithe consistently each year, the greater the blessing to you and to the world. What I'm asking is that you pray on it, think on it, do research on it, and whatever you need to make your choice to test God on this. When tithing, I always pray on the offering check and ask God to bless it and use it to bring souls to Jesus Christ. That the money I give goes far beyond what is thought humanly possible in its reach. I ask that you tithe 10% of your earnings and 1% for me, a total of 11%. This is not a requirement, more like a challenge to give to you to walk this path and change the world. This is an opportunity that God has placed in front of you. The reward is beyond understanding, but I guarantee it will humble you to see what God can do, and you will be filled with so much joy you will weep. Below is just a tidbit of tithing. Giving in secret. Matthew 6:1-4. Beware of practicing our righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from the Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. The terrible thing about our acts of devotion is how easy they are twisted in order to put our faithfulness on display. Once we've made ourselves the object and focus of our generosity, we've undermined the act. God has always promised reward for faithfulness of His saint. But Jesus tells us that when you draw attention to your giving, the respect and awe you've inspired becomes your reward, invalidating further blessing. This is the last, but so close to my heart. I will fight with all I have to protect all of you and what we have. You will always be my most treasured friend and loved by me. What we share is beyond value. If along the way the waters get muddy, we will connect again in heaven and create and do the most amazing things. We will be legends in heaven, the kings of the round table. Our earthly exploits will be heralded. All my love and God's blessings on you and your family. For the Lord, all for the Lord, to the glory of His kingdom, to the glory of His saints, to your glory in heaven. For the Lord, nothing more.